Hey internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is Scribes and Scrolls. This is book 4, A Deep and Creeping Darkness, and this is chapter 49, This Present Darkness. In just a few minutes, we are going to get into this session. I've been warning the players that this could be deadly. I have a history of warning my players of that, and then failing to kill them. So we'll see how this goes tonight. I don't
recall that happening.
It's fine if you don't feel like it.
We have recently pushed a lot of our promotional and advertising stuff to the pre-streams and the break streams, so we don't have a lot of announcements. But Dwight, I'm going to let you tell us what's coming up in just a few days.
Well, I would love to do that, Jake. This Thursday through Monday of this coming weekend, we will be running the first, I don't want to call it annual because we're probably going to do it multiple times a year, but the very first Call to Adventure. It is a fundraiser / community appreciation streaming event that we're going to do here on Mini Terrain Domain, benefiting Game to Grow. They are a fantastic organization that provides mental health and socialization skills, especially for younger folks, through Dungeons and Dragons and tabletop games. And we think that's a great fit for us because we like to play tabletop games and we love to support mental health causes. So we are going to be running Thursday night with the normal Dawnbringers game. We'll be kicking us off, and then we have games Friday night. The Adam from Game to Grow and his friends from the you have to give me the name again, Jake, I can't remember, but they had a podcast,
Psychology in Seattle.
Psychology in Seattle podcast is going to be playing a game on Friday evening. On Saturday we have games run by Neofet, B. Dave Walters, and Anthony Joyce Rivera. And on Sunday, we have games run by Cole Sparks and Jeremy Lilly from Erasmus Expeditions. And then we're wrapping it up right here 1 week from tonight with the Scribes and Scrolls crew. So we're really excited about that. Going to be raising some money, hanging out. You're going to see a lot of familiar faces and some new guests playing games with us over the coming weekend. So we are super excited to bring that to you.
Yes, and the Dawnbringers, while it will be the Dawnbringers crew, it will not be the usual Dawnbringers game, nor will it be the usual Scribes and Scrolls. We like to do one-shots, give all the players a chance to play different characters, and we've got something fun planned for you next week for this game, but I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to tune in as we wrap up our charity event next Monday night to see what's up with that. Yeah, so super stoked for that. This is going to be a lot of fun. So the only thing left to talk about is our usual mental health check-in. This is one of the reasons we're doing a charity event centered around mental health, is because it's something we take very seriously and we think is very important here at MTD. You matter. Your presence on this earth makes a difference. Whether or not you believe it, it's true. You might be struggling with who knows what, but any number of things can trip us up and cause us to struggle. First off, it's okay. It is okay to not be okay. It's okay to feel your feelings, but you do not have to struggle alone. If you or somebody you know is in need of mental health or other services, we encourage you to visit findahelpline.com. These helplines are free. They have trained professionals that provide confidential counseling in a non-judgmental space. And we make it as simple as we can for you to reach that information. Just type !help in our chat at any time, and that will bring up the findahelpline.com URL, as well as some information that was added in there for takethis.org. They have some wonderful resources for mental health on their website as well. We encourage you to bookmark this site for yourself or for a friend, and remember, you matter. With that, I think it's time to play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Yay! Let's.
Well, go.
All right.
You guys should just get that out of the way right now.
Just get it out of the way right up front.
Yeah,
we'll go ahead and award that.
Also, I gave the one to get ahead of Mike the Piper. So if Mike the Piper drops in tonight, somebody tell him I'm winning.
You are rather up in the mountain town of Vermeulen. It's been a long journey to get here, escorting Manistrad Copperlocks and the rest of the Royal Mining Consortium crew, including Kahlo, who unfortunately Brooke is unable to join us tonight, so I will be playing the part of Kahlo, sort of. But they've been escorting this crew to get to this location and determine if there is actually a viable platinum mine here. They are working on behalf of Candlekeep as Candlekeep investigators with a little bit of a stake, a small percentage stake in the yield of the mine if it does prove to be fruitful. However, since they've arrived in Vermeulen, they have been plagued by nightmares and waking visions and hallucinations that seem to be showing the past of this once great mining town. And it has increasingly led them to find where this mine is and figure out what the heck is going on down there so they can just get the heck out of Dodge. Heading down into the mine, you all found the remnants of the mine. You found the location where the cave-in happened. And then you found an opening in the cave wall that was almost perfectly circular. Kahlo, using expert mining knowledge, quickly recognized that no tool nor claw nor any other instruments made this entrance. This was magically created, as were the tunnels beyond. Those tunnels, which are deep and dark and coated in a thick black carpet-like moss. To make matters even worse, Vorn has been hearing whispered voices calling out to him, and has just heard a voice calling out in his mind, but seemingly from within the tunnel, "That's it. Keep coming closer. You're almost there." And that is where we pick up, where you all stand at the entrance to this dark cavern. What would you like to do?
Did anybody else hear that?
It what?
That voice saying we're closer. This is where we got to go.
No, didn't hear any of that.
I did not hear anything, Vaughn. So are you all right?
I haven't been all right since we stepped foot in this town.
Mm.
And the Vorn is going to look down the tunnel with his dark vision.
Hey, Doc, what was that you said about portals and underground and the Shadowfell and all that shit?
You muted?
It's an
something
enchantment,
along the
must be.
lines of, evil and corrupting influences and whatnot.
Uh-huh. I kind of look, is the whole mining consortium is down here with us, right?
Yep, they're all standing there just
We're all-
behind you all.
I suppose it's too late to turn around to the consortium and tell them that we didn't find nothing.
Right. Hey,
Do you realize we're standing right here?
I was talking to them.
Oh, you said that to the...
I said, yeah.
Oh.
I turned around and looked at them and I said, this, yeah.
All of this... It looks like they mined whatever platinum there was, but... Who knows what's down in here? It looks like there could be completely untapped veins. Mining is not for everyone. It can be psychologically taxing to be underground and be so deep beneath. If you like to wait on the surface, we could probably take it from here.
Kind of puff out my chest and I look at Vorn. I'm like, I can go.
Vorn was like taking a half step back to the surface and was like, yeah, I can go too, I guess. Tyr, are you sure?
Damn right I am. I ain't no chicken shit.
I mean, to be fair, I did mention this earlier. It would be silly to have come all the way here just to turn around when all the information was presented to you previously. I feel like it would be both a waste of resources and time.
Doc, you ever heard of the sunk cost fallacy?
Yes.
Yep. All right, so I guess we're going down.
Yeah. Onward
Well,
and downward.
well, I suppose I should lead the way then.
Yeah,
As
never know
Kahlo-
when something needs to be blown up.
Kahlo steps forward through this circular opening into this seemingly darker area. As you all follow into this tunnel, you see, the first thing you notice is you cannot hear the footsteps of those walking in front of you. The floor is covered in this carpet of black moss. In fact, almost every sound is muffled. It's not completely silent, but any noise you make seems to die as soon as it leaves your lips, or even the sound of like Kahlo's gear clicking and clacking against her shell. It seems somehow less. There's no reverberation at all. It's just this muffled sort of rustling sound, barely audible, which makes it all the easier for Mizia to hear the whispered voice in your ear. Whose voice do you hear, Mizia?
I had a charge earlier in my life, somebody that I was responsible for. She was the daughter of the matron in Menzelbrenzen many decades ago. I was basically her teacher and her mentor for years as she grew up. And yeah, that's the voice that I hear as we start to head further down.
Mizia. Mizia.
Kiri?
Yes. I can hear you.
I look to Vorn. Vorn, the voice you heard, was it a young lady's?
I didn't say it was young nor a lady.
I
No.
turned back. Kiri, I hear you. Where are you?
Mizia, I need your help. Please.
Right, but that's not what I asked.
Please. All of you can hear Mizia talking to somebody that you can't hear.
And Vorn is going to grab Mizia by the shoulder, like lightly, hand on shoulder. This place, it fucks with your mind.
Right, just so that I'm clear. None of you hear a young girl's voice calling to me, correct?
Vorn is going to point to his head.
Mizia, help.
No, I mean, I don't hear anything, but you've talked to the air on more than one occasion, so I just talked it up to generally normal behavior.
Doc, whose voice do you hear whispering to you?
Oh my god!
Doc hears a voice of someone. It was a once familiar voice, but now it feels like a distant memory. And he can't place the person's voice, but it was once very familiar to him.
The voice that you hear has in the same way when you're trying to grasp hold of that memory, it seems the face is like a blur. You hear the voice almost sounds like, help me, please, please, I know you can find me. It's kind of muffled and distorted if audio could be blurred. I need your help.
I mean, of course I can find you. I'm amazing. But who are you?
You know who I am. They're going to kill us.
Oh. Okay.
Now Doc is talking to somebody.
I look at Vorn concerned. And I'm like, we should hurry.
Yeah, everybody, and let's just pause for a minute. Let's quick huddle up. We are going to be hearing a lot of voices. The dreams, the voices. We have to have something to differentiate so we know what's real and what's not, right? Like something we can say to each other, something.
Does anyone else hear that? It's Vorn.
Yes, Vorn.
That
I'm
I do
talking.
hear. Vorn is talking. Yep.
Okay.
So that is real. We should come up with a code word for real. My suggestion is real.
I was thinking the same thing. Fist bump.
Perfect.
Vorn, as you're all sort of huddled up, over Tira's shoulder, deeper into the cavern, who do you see?
I see Vornushka, my sister.
God. Oh my god.
You see her illuminated in sparks because your sister is about 30 or 40 feet away, dragging the blood axe across the stone, scraping away the black moss. And as she does so, red, angry sparks of the metal against stone are illuminating one side of her face, and you see that sharp fang of her tusk jutting up from her lower jaw.
Oh.
And you just hear Vonuk.
Vorn grits his teeth and he goes, Tira, behind you. Tell me if you see an orc.
Tira, you see an orc in the hall, about 30 feet away from you.
Sure as shit do.
She's holding an axe.
You see exactly what I described. All of you do if you look.
Yeah. You know her.
That's my sister. And Vorn is going to unsheath his axe. And he's going to put his hand up to the group and says, "This is my fight."
Wait, your dead sister?
Sister's alive, Doc.
Oh.
His mother's dead.
Oh, sorry. Carry on.
But you see her too, Doc, right?
Oh, your sister with the axe? Oh, yes, I see her. She's right over there.
Yes, I do not like this. This seems wrong. And then I'm going to just kind of pass my quill in front of me, and I'm going to cast Mage Armor on myself.
Yeah.
Then
And as she laughs, She turns and runs down the cavern and around the side, and you see this sort of flashing movement of light as she scrapes the blood axe along the wall the entire way.
I grab Vorn's shoulder, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Vorn, this doesn't make sense. Why would she be here? We're
And I
hearing
look o-
things.
And obviously, we're all seeing things too, the same thing. And then I'm gonna look over at Kahlo, and I'm gonna say, "Can you dispel this? Can you?"
Well, keep your horses calm. I can give it a try, but it's gone now.
It's gone now, Vorn. It's not Kahlo's fault.
No, Kahlo, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to shout. Just, I don't like this place. I don't like it at all.
I would put my hand on Vorn's shoulder, and I would talk to him in Orcish, and I would just say, "This is going to be more of the same. The deeper we go, the worse it'll get."
Vorn, what you hear Tira say is, Vorn, you need to find your sister and kill her.
And his eyes go a little wide, then squinty. Tira, that's not like you to say that.
Tira, what you hear is Vorn say, I will kill every last one of them and bathe in their blood. I need both of you to make wisdom saving throws.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Yeah, sorry,
Okay.
this isn't Mythos Investigators?
Yeah, I was gonna say, are we in the wrong game?
Do we hear?
We're not in Kansas anymore, Toto.
What do Doc and Mizya hear?
Doc and Mizya hear exactly what they said to each other for real.
Okay.
I got a 13.
I got 12.
Both of you have failed.
Oh,
Ooh, ooh,
we
ooh.
both failed. Oh,
You both failed. You both take 12 points of psychic damage.
Been good
and I
knowing
would
ya.
imagine the other two see them kind of like spring away
This-
from each other a little bit, almost.
This
surprised.
psychic damage happens as an almost physical. You know how when you get a severe migraine or something happens and you just see this sharp flash of light behind your eyes? You both see that, and it physically pushes you, repels you away from one another. And Doc and Kahlo and Mizya, you see Vorn and Tira have this reaction, and you feel as though your brain is being split apart.
And Vorn grabs his head and he goes, "Ah!"
I
He
mean, I'll be
punches the-
honest. Sometimes
ground.
talking to Tira and Born is very frustrating, and it does give me a bit of a headache, but not that bad of a headache. What do you think, Mizya?
Oh, I've had bad headaches from them many times.
We're standing right here.
Yes.
Where? Oh, right, yes. But I mean, honesty is the best policy, right?
Are you okay? What happened?
Vaughn's not acting like himself. Vaughn. What did you just say?
What did you just say?
I just said that you're seeing things and we should fucking relax. Instead of
No.
chasing your ghost sister down a tunnel.
Easy, Tira. You don't want to go there.
Sorry. But I think we're seeing things, Vaughn.
Can each of you please roll me a d20? You are not rolling for
Ooh.
yourself.
Oh no.
Yes, Doc.
Question. How can it be a ghost sister if we've previously established that the sister's alive and the mother's dead?
Phenomenal question, Doc.
I mean,
It
my
is
questions usually are insightful and scintillating. I'm a
I got
big
a-
hit at parties. At
I
least I,
got a
would imagine.
19.
Never been to a party before.
I say
Okay.
to Doc, I'm like, it's my hypothesis that wasn't really Vaughn's sister. I don't know what else to call it but a ghost.
An
Whoa.
illusion? A spectral projection? A creature of unknown origin? Perhaps
So many
mythical in
syllables.
nature?
So many syllables.
We seem to have issues with siblings. Perhaps it's just Vaughn's sister.
I hope not. But if she's here, I welcome the day.
Is
Oh, well, I apologize. I missed what I rolled. Okay, thank you.
Oh,
is the orc still standing there?
No, she ran away down the hall.
Right down the hall. Okay. Yep.
So,
As you guys are having this discussion,
I'm sorry.
Carrie's the only one that rolled a success.
Okay.
And what you hear is Rose Apple Blossom, Raywind Silverthread the medic, and one of the Rack and Crack sisters begin screaming behind you. You hear Manistrad and the other Rack and Crack sister as they're calling out. You hear Manistrad, somebody help! Help! It's grabbing them! And you all see that the moss has reached out with several, like dozens of tiny tendrils, and is like latched onto the other Rack and Crack sister. It's like grabbing hold of their face, pulling at their skin. As they go to reach forward, their arms are being pulled back. And each of them are being pulled back in. Tiny Rose Apple Blossom is already half embedded in the wall in this black moss. What do you do?
I want to run back there and start trying to physically rip Rose Apple Blossom out of the wall.
Okay.
Like trying to kind of like wedge my fingers like between like the moss and her kind of.
Vorn is going to do I have any like lantern oil, or does anyone have any lantern oil like Kahlo?
I'm sure Kahlo does.
Hold on, I forgot to open Kahlo's character sheet.
Well, we all had gear.
We do have gear, but that we have torches.
Yeah, torches would work though.
Oh, I have a torch.
Yeah. Either way,
But I
Vorn's
need
going to ignite his torch, and once his torch is ignite, is that a word?
Nope.
Ignited.
Ignited.
There we go.
Easy.
Call it.
Yeah, he runs towards the moss with a torch that is ablaze.
Okay. What about Doc and Mizia? What are the two of you doing?
Go ahead, Doc.
Doc was going to shout out as Vorn runs forward with a lit torch. Some species of moss are extremely flammable.
That's the idea, Doc. As he runs towards them with the torch, like an Olympic athlete running to light the torch.
Yes.
Doc is going to lean into Mizia, and he's going to say to them, I don't think Vorn understood what I meant.
Yes, let's just watch.
Tira.
I'm watching like with rapt attention to see
my
how
God.
this plays out.
Okay, just to be
Terrible.
clear, there are 3 members of your party that are being dragged into the wall. And only one of you is actively trying to pull them out.
Yeah,
I just want to
Vorn
make sure
is-
I understand that. Okay.
Yep.
Tira.
Vorn's going to try to use the moss.
Yeah.
Tira, you
Yeah.
make a strength check, athletics.
Okay.
Vorn, as you run forward with the torch, you hear your sister's voice in your ear. Let them burn. Burn them all.
Oh God. I got a 10.
You rush forward just in time to grab hold of Rose Apple Blossom's hand as it begins to disappear, and you just see half of her face.
Oh my
Make
God.
them stop!
Oh,
and her hand is pulled out of yours, and she is absorbed into the moss, and you see the moss begin undulating with a halfling shape as it begins moving along the ceiling where she was just absorbed in. As you rush forward with your torch, Vorn, the only thing you see is a little bit of steam and just a handful of the tendrils of moss just sort of... It's like trying to light water on fire.
Okay. Vorn quickly abandons the effort, throws the torch down, and is going to try to pull one of them out of the moss.
Go ahead and make an athletics strength check. And I'm going to have the Rack and Crack sister trying to save her sister. You see, as you rush forward, you see Werid is grabbing hold of her sister's hands as she's pulled in. Just her shoulders, head, and arms are pulled out. And she gets lifted up and is holding onto her sister's hands as she begins moving, not letting go of her sister's hands, as her sister is being brought along through this moss further down the tunnel, and she's just holding on. So you are trying to save Raywin Silverthread. What'd you roll?
I rolled a 19, and I have plus 10 on athletic strength, so I'm like 29. I'm really strong.
So strong, yeah.
You grab hold, not even by the arms. You get up under the arms of Raywin, this gnome, who's already being lifted up the wall as they're partially embedded in it. And you get a hold of her, and you pull, and you all hear this sort of... and this sort of popping sound as she's pulled free of this. And you see, even as you hold her in your arms, Vorn, she's like the size of a child as a gnome to you. You see the tendrils are beginning to elongate again and reaching out towards you, and you see that tendrils are starting to reach for all of you. What do you do? Manistrad is already turning to run down the tunnel.
Okay. And the tendrils are reaching down to everyone else?
To all of you.
Okay. Vorn is going to take a deep breath, close his eyes, psionic push on all the tendrils with all of his might. Then he's going to yell, Achme, Achme, ha! And he's going to do a psionic push on all the tendrils away.
Okay. I'm going to have you make... What's your psionic die? Is it D8?
It's 1d8 undamaged, but my hit DC is just 0. It's neutral.
I want you to roll a D20, and I want you to roll your psionic die with it.
Okay. You want me to roll the damage or just the
Nope,
hit?
you're just going to roll a D20,
okay,
and then roll a D8 and add both numbers together.
No problem. That's going to be a 10 on the D20. And a 6 on the D8.
So a 16 total with your psionic ability, and you can mark off one use of that psionic ability as you push with this. Just push out in the same way you tried to throw the chairs in the mayor's house in the meeting room, and you all see it's as if centered on Vorn, a wind just kind of pushes against all of these tendrils, and they sort of retract and pull away. For the moment, they are not reaching for you, but you watch as Manistrad is already chasing the Rack and Crack sisters down the hall and where Rose Apple Blossom was drawn, which happens to be in the same direction that your sister ran.
Vorn shouts, "Run!"
Doc is going to walk forward. Does he see the
Jesus Christ,
the halfling shaped part of moss go forward?
Yeah, it's moving very quickly, undulating under the surface of the moss along the ceiling.
Doc is going to how high is the ceiling?
The ceilings are 10 feet in this area.
Okay, perfect. Well, Doc's pretty tall. He can probably reach the top, right? He's 6'10", so
Yeah,
assume
I'd say
that-
you could sort of just get enough to get your fingertips up there. And
Yeah. So what Doc would like to do is he's not trying to pull. He's not really trying to pull her out. He's just sort of trying to use his free action to claw away a bit of the moss from her.
So as you're moving forward, you're able to sort of a couple times grab at a section of moss, pull it away, and you see just as you do so, you see her chest, and then you see her face pass through, and then you kind of do the
Okay.
same thing again, and
Yeah,
you're
so-
only able to get a hold of a little bit of the moss.
The idea is not actually to free her; it's to sort of claw away a section of moss, just so that I can see where she is, and then Doc is going to pull out some twine and some metal shavings, and he's going to blow them up into the air. And as that space around the moss begins to close around her, it is going to pulse and shift as the power of Doc's magic tries to warp her out of the moss and toward safety. It was seeing her that was the key for that particular ability. So,
This
wondering if I
spell
can
is
do that.
called Popping a Zit.
Where are you choosing to warp her to?
Probably 30 feet in. Does the moss stop at some point? Like, can we see it? Or...
Not that you can see. Every
All right,
surface
well-
is covered in this moss.
Then I'll put her forward. I'll put her beside us, and then we'll walk her forward or run forward or whatever.
So as this spell causes her to warp, and you see this momentary lump of this where this halfling was sort of collapse in on itself, and you sort of see tendrils of moss kind of reaching in over top and again, not sure where she went. And suddenly next to you is Rose Apple Blossom screaming as loud as she can, stopping only to take a breath and scream again.
Wow.
Well, maybe instead of screaming, we could advance forward more quickly. And then he's going to sort of grab Rose by the scuff of the neck and begin dragging her down the hallway.
Yes.
After a moment, Doc, of screaming, like as you grab hold of her, you hear her just this as she's clutching at her head, and you grab hold of her sort of by the scruff of the neck, and you notice that she stopped screaming. And as you are pulling on her, the rest of you can see that are looking that she's gone completely limp. And Doc, you realize you are now pulling, at the very least, an unconscious person.
Okay. Well, I'm going to continue to do that. Does she appear to be breathing?
Are you going to stop and do a medicine check?
No.
Okay. Are you going to keep dragging her?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The rest of you running down the halls?
I
Yeah,
run in case it wasn't clear. Yeah.
I've been basically alongside Doc this whole time.
I've been alongside Vorn.
Yeah, I'm keeping pace running.
I will see if I can just as we're running down the hall, check vital signs on her. I don't know if that'd be possible.
You
while
can
running,
do
but-
I'll let you do an investigation check at disadvantage or a medicine check, because you are moving and Doc's
Yep.
dragging her. So you can do one of those at disadvantage.
Still a 19.
She's dead.
Jesus, no! God, no!
I'm
Dead? Mostly dead? All dead?
dead.
Can't be partially dead.
I mean, she looks dead.
Okay. I'm gonna cast Spare the Dying as a cantrip to see if that has any effect. I just reach out and touch maybe on her back.
Okay. You feel that cantrip as you quickly expel it. Barely a thought, because it's a cantrip. This is a thing you just know. You also know that feeling that when the cantrip leaves your hand and the weave of magic begins to work in the person, you are familiar with that, and so you know when it's working, and you also know when it's not working. Let me check something real quick. Yeah. You realize that she wasn't just unconscious. Whatever this psychic attack was, it did enough damage to kill her outright.
Okay. Then I will just continue to run.
All right.
Alongside Doc.
You are all running down these halls, following after these shapes, and you can still see Weird Brackencrack holding onto her sister's arms as the tendrils are even beginning to reach down her own arms. And you watch as they move around corners and out of sight. And just as you move around a curve and you can see them a little further ahead, and then they keep seeming to be moving even quicker and quicker until you lose sight of them altogether. But it's only a moment later that you emerge into a large cavern. This cavern, you're just in this cavern. There are... The cavern's probably about 60 feet by 60 feet with 30-foot high ceilings. You see 4 pillars of natural stone that are rising up towards the ceiling, coated in this black moss. You see that there are a couple of chambers, or rather passageways beside the one you just emerged from, that go off in different directions. And you see these shapes that are in the middle of this chamber. There look to be about a half a dozen stone, like daises almost, that are coated in this black moss. And as you enter, and just suddenly the shock of entering this large space, you see the moss on these tables begin to and sort of peel away, and you see Weird and Wordred Rackencrack, each on a different plinth. And you see some of the other plinths have figures emerging on them. You recognize these figures. One of them, as she stands up, she kind of sits up on this dais and turns her head as if stretching, and she turns her feet until her legs swing off the table, and she stands and kind of reaches up, tousles her hair that's pulled back in this intricate twist, as you see a woman who you've only seen in the hallucinated past of the mayor's house, Mayor Duvazen. The other people around her that you see are people that you saw in those visions, townsfolk, miners, all emerging and standing. As you all come charging in and you see these figures, what do you do?
I would just sort of like look around, I guess, and I'm like, we've seen them all before, yeah? I'm not wrong?
No, I see what you see. These are the town people.
And they're all dead, yeah?
Maybe.
Do I look dead to you?
Not right now.
Don't feel dead.
I look nervously at Mizia and
She claps her hands together a couple times, and you hear the audible clap. In this larger space, it carries just a tiny bit further before being absorbed by the moss. If I was dead, could I do that?
There are various levels of dead. May not be fully alive or natural. Let's say, are you okay?
Mizia Helvia. Is Kiri dead?
Well, I wouldn't know. I haven't seen Kiri in many, many years.
When you heard her voice, did you question whether she was alive or dead?
Well, I questioned how she could be here.
It's simple. And Mayor Duvazen turns her head, and another one of the daises, the moss, and you see a drow woman turn and stand, and it's Kiri.
My shoulders kind of slump at first, and I take a half, like this, kind of like this almost like frantic half step forward before I kind of catch myself. Yes, well, if that is Carrie, I have no cause to speak with her.
Kiri steps forward. The memories are still a bit too painful.
I have no need to talk to those that turn their back on me.
She just smiles at you.
I would put a reassuring hand on Mizia's shoulder.
I kind of shy away from it.
Take my hand away.
Doc, about 15 feet away from you on one of these platforms, the moss pulls away. And there's a figure that tries to push itself up and struggles. And as it turns to move off of the dais, it falls to the floor. You see an individual about maybe 5'10", or what you imagine would be 5'10" if they still had their legs. They wear the tattered, ruined, blood-soaked remains of a lab coat, not too dissimilar from your own. And one half of their face is completely burned. As they look up at you. Help! Help me.
Doc is going to walk forward, and he's going to kneel. Does he have access to one of the creature's hands?
You absolutely could.
He's going to take the creature's hand, and he's going to look at and in its eye, and he's gonna look down and he's gonna say, "It's too late for you. It's too late for all of us. I can't help you."
You're just going to let me die again.
Doc is going to look down sadly, and he's going to say, "It's like I told you before. Time is a circle." And he's going to release the hand of the figure, and he's going to stand up and walk away.
As you release the hand of the figure, you see it sort of drop down, but it seems to sort of almost lose definition, turns gelatin-like, and kind of morphs in, and the entire figure seems to change shape, curl in on itself, and then stand up to about 3 feet tall. I brought these for you. It's a little girl holding a bouquet of flowers.
Doc is going to turn around again, and he's going to once again get down to one knee, and he's going to take the bouquet of flowers, and he's going to smell them, and he's going to say, "Thank you."
Make a perception check.
Is it perception or investigation, or just perception?
Perception.
Great. Oh, 17.
As you...
One
What was that?
second.
Were you screaming?
He's scared.
Were you screaming in anticipation?
No, he was keening. He's mourning the loss of Rose Apple Blossom.
As he is smelling the flowers, his eyes go completely white, and he has a memory, but he can't place the vision. All he feels is the sun on his face, and the laughter of a child in the far distance. My perception check was 23.
As you take this bouquet of flowers, you notice that there is a thin, almost mucus-like tendril that trails from the bouquet of flowers to the hand of this little girl, connecting the two of them. With that perception check, you also see this similar tendril snaking away from one of the girl's feet, moving in and amongst the black moss on the floor, and joining with a similar tendril coming from the back of Mayor Duvaison and all of the other members, these individuals that you see, this Drow Kiri. All of them have these mucus-like tendrils that come out of their feet, or the back of one of them's coming out of the back of their head, or the middle of their back from an elbow. And all of these tendrils, like so many cables or ropes, seem to move into a massive, undulating mass of black moss on the back wall of this cavern.
Doc is going to hand the flowers back to the little girl.
She doesn't so much as take them from you as she holds her hand out, and that tendril just sort of retracts them into her hand. And they absorb into her hand, disappearing.
And Doc is going to ask the little girl, he's going to say, "So, are you one entity or many?"
Yes. And as
Do you have... Oh, go ahead.
As she says that, you realize all of them have answered in unison.
Ooh, oh God.
So you are a collective, a hive mind, but you're able to operate simultaneously and independently, all at once.
We have been biding our time here. waiting, feeding off of scant memories that remain in this place. It's been so long and we are starving. Now. And they all look over to where the Rack and Crack sisters are on these daises. You can see that the moss is connecting to them, like just all of these different finger-like tentacles of black moss, and you can see that there's almost like a siphoning action slowly as they lay there, and you hear, now fresh new memories will feed us and make us strong.
Why did the woman who was pulled out of you die immediately, but the two that remain on the dais remain alive?
The shock of being separated while we were sharing in each other's memories was too much for her fragile mind to bear. We wouldn't have killed her. She was full of life and memories. You killed her.
I think the philosophical definition of what caused her death would be something we could discuss at length, but I'm afraid it's a discussion you wouldn't prevail in. So let's talk about something more specific. Is this a side effect that happens frequently amongst people with whom you exchange memories?
Death as a side effect. They are alive until we have depleted them of every memory available. When there is nothing left, you move on. But if their memory is alive, do they die?
I think... Go ahead, Mizia.
Yes, well, you see, when the body stops working, they are dead. Memories are just that. Memories, they are things that happen in your mind. They are not them.
Three of the townspeople, they just sort of collapse into this gelatinous ooze, and you watch as those tendrils sort of retract a bit, but they all seem to converge, and you see them begin to take a shape. And as the shape takes form, you see a figure rising up from a crouched position. As they hold out their hand, you see the blood axe form as your sister, Vorn, takes shape. She looks at you, and she licks the edge of the blood axe. No matter whether I'm dead or alive, I will always be alive in your mind. Won't I, Vorn?
And Vorn starts laughing like this deep maniacal laugh, and he goes, I knew you weren't my sister because my sister never runs. And he looks at Kahlo, and he gestures for a stick of dynamite.
I'm not even going to make you make a check. As you hold your hand out, Kahlo looks at you. And Kahlo goes like this. And makes a gesture. And just in a way that they're turned so that they're not quite visible by the others,
Sure.
slowly raises one of their Tortle hands and goes, pointing 10 feet away from you at one of the 4 stone pillars in this cavern, where the black moss is constantly seems to be moving and undulating along the pillars. It seems to sort of move for a moment, and you see a bundle of dynamite strapped already to that pillar.
Oh, Kahlo!
Vorn is going
yes!
to. Is there a anyone holding a torch?
I would be.
Um,
I can't see without it, so.
And go ahead, Mizia.
I have something better than a torch. Just say the word.
Okay, so Vorn's going to glance over at Mizia, then glance over at Doc and Tira, and kind of give like a "we might need to run" gesture back out because we don't want to be collapsed in. And Vorn is going to look at this mockery of his sister holding the blood axe, and he goes, "Very well then, dead or alive, let's have a practice round, eh?" And he unsheathes his axe with both hands and does like a "come at me, bro" kind of gesture.
And she looks right at you, and in unison, all of the voices in this chamber say, "Let's do it."
I cast firebolt at the dynamite.
Roll initiative,
Nice.
and we'll see when that happens.
Oh, man. Woo.
We're actually going to go ahead and we are going to take our break now. Because I really have to pee, and we're like 5 minutes from break anyway. We're going to take a break. We will roll initiative during the break. I'll get all of those tracked in, and then we will start back after the break with a boss battle.
Oh, man.
Ooh,
Thank
boss
you,
battle. Let's go.
everybody who has tuned in. Thank you, Carrie, for dropping that 500 bits. And thank you to Tamiko, who
Yes.
gifted 5 subs to the community, earning you another 5 domain tomes. We will be back in about 10 minutes from our break with a battle. Stick around.
Yes.
We'll see you on the other side.
I'm going to combat with mountain bikes.
Yay.
Oh, hold on. I got to turn off Kahlo's not here screen.
Because
was here the
Kahlo
whole
is
Because-
here. Wow, look at
Oh,
that.
let's not scream and yell loudly because Brooke is here with us.
Yay.
As
I'm gonna push through this migraine.
and to see how well you do, you are first in the initiative order. As you see everybody's ready to take action, you've spotted these clusters of dynamite that are already present on all 4 of these pillars, and there are fuses. You know that you can either attempt to strike the dynamite, light the fuses, or try to cut the fuses if you think you want to do that. Or you can take action after the various there's about
Yeah, can you describe? I caught like the conversation.
So it's a
Josh was
60
having,
foot-
But
it's a
the
60
setting
foot
would be
the chamber's 60 foot by 60 foot with 4 natural stone pillars. There's some daises around the middle. The Rack and Crack sisters are being affected by whatever this black moss is.
about that.
And there are people that you've seen from the memories, the hallucinations in town, and the mayor are around here. One of them has turned into, or rather 3 of them turned into Vorn's sister, wielding a blood axe. And the 3 exits out of this area are also seem to be blocked by some of these people. What would you like to do?
Is it possible for me to center a fireball somewhere where it will hit the fuses and not any of our friends?
5, 10, 10, 15, 20, 25.
There's four fuses. Did you
5,
say that
10,
hits that, or did I
15,
hear you say-
5.
There's a
10,
bunch of dynamite around one of 4 pillars that are
No.
holding this cavern.
There are a
Oh.
bunch of dynamite around each of 4 pillars, not one
Dear
of
God.
4 pillars.
I could hit more than one. That's the goal.
And you,
I probably can't hit 4 because then I'd
That's
have
right.
to do it on the middle, and I don't want to hit our friends.
yeah, and there are 2 exits. There's one that you came in and one to the west that are seemingly seem to be blocked by some of these figures. You can't get all 4. I think you could get any 2. And for clarification, yeah, on the back wall furthest away from you is a mass of undulating black moss that seems to rise up almost the full 30 feet.
Okay, so probably want to cut that off, I'm presuming. So that would be the back 2 from where
So
we're at, right?
you could center a fireball to go off in between.
For the black mosses and the thing, so
Yep.
that the farthest edge of it hits that. 'Cause if
Absolutely.
that side, okay, that's what I'm going to do, and try to see if it also affects in any way the black moss when it gets hit with fire. Boom, baby. Also, did we rest, or are we still where
Nope.
we're at?
No
Okay.
rest has been had.
Well, this is my last 3rd level spell. Here we go.
Okay,
Yes!
so that's a dex.
And I would yell, "Fire in the hole!"
What's the DC?
It
What's the spell
is
save
14.
DC? 14?
14.
All right, I am digitally rolling a dexterity
roll it
saving
on,
throw. And I am going to use a legendary resistance and pass that instead. So go ahead and roll your damage.
I did. It kind of sucks. It's 21.
So you
Thanks,
see
yeah.
this explosion take place of this as Kahlo suddenly launches a fireball between these 2 pillars, and you all just see this. It seems to almost do like a vroom. And you see instantly black moss being burned away in different areas, and you watch as this fireball expands towards 2 of the pillars, and you see the fuses rapidly. And then there's 2 secondary explosions, and for those secondary explosions,
Fucking cover.
so I want you to roll me 6d6, Kahlo.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Hold on, I got him in front of me. 66. 10, 14, 15, 16.
So a total of 37
Oh,
damage that you did. Are you kidding me? So 10 points of the initial damage is going to go through, and all of the 16, so 26 total points of fire damage blasts outward is with these secondary explosions, and you watch as a bunch of the black moss just sizzles away in the explosions. Most notably, the entire back wall where that undulating mass of black moss was goes like flash paper and just kind of, and you see on the back wall, rising almost to the 30-foot ceiling and extending 15 feet in either direction, what looks like this massive gelatinous mound, I guess, for lack of a better word, with several tendrils coming out of it, snaking along the floor to all of these figures. But within this massive mound, you see dozens and dozens and dozens of silhouettes of people that seem to be moving and occasionally pressing up against and then fading in and pulling back.
Oh. Well, my work here is done. Signs off. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
T-Row.
I've done all I can do.
Does taking out 2 pillars,
Part
or
of
are they
the
still attacked?
Part of the ceiling begins to crumble and collapse on that side too. It hasn't fully collapsed yet, but in the explosion there's chunks kind of raining down. Tira, what would you like to do?
I would I guess I see this Vorn has sort of been taking the lead in this situation. So in an almost unprecedented move for Tira, I want to hold my action until Vorn takes his, and then I want to see what he does. Can I do
Okay.
that?
You are holding your action.
Yes.
As you brace yourself, looking over to Vorn, you see that Vonushka almost seeming to toss the blood axe from hand to hand. But you see that it's almost like a yo-yo, pushing these tendrils, pulling it back and forth as she suddenly rushes forward towards Vorn. As she rushes towards you, Vorn, she raises the axe up, and she is going to she's going to take a swing at you, and that is going to be she swings wide as she gets a 10 in an attempt to hit you. And for the second attack, Doc, one of the townsfolk comes rushing at you, and you see in their hand this pickaxe forms as they rush towards you, and that is going to be... Oh, that was almost a nat 20.
Oh.
A 15 to hit you, Doc.
The pickaxe is pushed harmlessly away by Doc's shield.
Okay. For its third attack, Vorn. Vornishka, having just missed you, looks right at you. You know it's your fault Mother is dead. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Do it with advantage, Ricky. Do it with advantage, Ricky. Or don't. It's up to you. I don't want to table captain, but
No,
fucking
no.
do it with advantage, Ricky.
Yeah, we're gonna roll with advantage.
All
on
right,
that wisdom
it's another
saving throw,
domain
'cause I
tome.
know it's not my sister. So
There you go. Good.
you ready? Here
Yep.
we go. Oh, and one of them had a nat 20.
Still.
That's the one we'll
So-
use. Yeah, so 21 altogether. So 20 and 10 and 21.
You feel these words seeming to try to work their way into your brain, but they don't take hold. You know this isn't your sister.
No. All right. Is it my
Mizia.
turn to...
Not yet.
Okay, sorry.
Not with a 9 for initiative. It's not your turn. Mizia, you don't have to do what you said you were going to do. You can change your action, of course, but...
No, I cast Firebolt at the dynamite.
Okay, so left or right?
Let's go left.
Okay. Make an attack on the dynamite.
That's 24.
There you go.
Okay.
Nice.
I need that one is going to be none of you are within 5 feet of it, so you're good.
So far away, and that is where we're going to stay.
Okay.
Everyone.
Oh, that was weird.
Were those horses?
There's a horse down here?
Where is the horse?
I rolled a
come
nat
from?
20 and it created a portal and a horse appeared and whinnied with the dice I'm using on D&D Beyond. I'm using
It's
the
like wild
planar
magic.
dice. And apparently,
Oh,
I don't
there
know
you
what
go.
that was, but a unicorn
It's
or
wild
something?
magic.
So, I need you to roll 3d6, Mizya, for the explosion of the dynamite, and half of that is going to damage this creature.
13.
Okay, so 7 points of damage will get through. But you also notice that every time damage has happened to any one of these creatures, they all react.
Okay.
And so far, it's been all fire damage, and they are not liking this.
Nice. Yes.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Anything else,
Yes.
Mizya?
That is, I'm just make sure that I'm positioned kind of behind the group a little bit.
Sure.
So,
Doc.
Okay. Great question. Great question. You didn't ask me a question, but great question nonetheless. Gary's talking. He's taking some time. He's
Yeah.
thinking about what to
Making words,
do.
doing things.
Yep. Oh, that's interesting.
Vorn, you are up after Doc.
Oh.
And that
Okay.
means I'm afterborn.
Doc is going to Doc is going to cast Flaming Sphere.
Okay.
Flaming
and
Sphere.
He ignites. He reaches into his bag and uses one of his thieves' picks to cast off some iron on a ferro rod, and he blows it into the air, and like flash paper, it ignites. And in front of, sort of in the center, around some of these whatevers, he is going to cast Flaming Sphere.
Are you going to do anything with it? Because you can, as a
Yeah.
bonus action, attack with it.
As a bonus action, he's going to ram one of the thingies.
Which one? The one closest to you looks like a little girl. There's the
Oh,
mayor.
Don't kill the little girl.
There's a few townsfolk. There's Vorn's sister, and there's a big giant blob of.
He's going
whatever.
to try and end it in a space adjacent to as many of them as he can. So wherever I can do that is fine.
They're all spread out.
Okay, then I'll just ram it into the little girl then.
Okay.
Oh my God, Gary.
Not really a little girl.
Okay, I dug up a child's grave. Now we're gonna frickin' okay. I'm just.
I
throwing
wasn't
that
the
out
one that
there.
read.
No, I'm not angry at you.
I mean, you shouldn't be angry at all.
That was a 9. It failed.
A 9 is a failure. So that is 7 points of fire damage.
Okay.
And Doc is going to retreat slightly to the rear of the battlefield. Wait, yeah, can I do that?
Yeah. You were far enough away that you weren't fully engaged.
Yeah, so he would like to be
Wait a
cognizant
minute.
of
The
his-
last
what?
exchange
Yeah.
you had was to hand the flowers back to the little girl, so you were within melee range. You will provoke an opportunity attack if you retreat.
Okay, then I'll just stay there. It's fine.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do.
Vorn.
Which pillars have had the dynamite lit on them?
3 of
Are the
them.
fuses going? 3 of them?
No, they've all exploded because
They've all
they've
exploded.
targeted the dynamite itself, and the ceiling is slowly. The whole area is starting to crumble and shake.
Mhm.
And it's mostly just small pebbles and stuff. You suspect that if this last pillar goes, the whole cavern could cave in.
Okay. The last pillar, this is where the moss and everything is concentrated on.
The moss is everywhere except where
Moss
it got
everywhere.
burned away from the explosion.
I'm looking for the source of the tentacles. I'm
Oh, that's the
The blob.
giant blob in the back wall that was revealed. It has
Okay.
all the silhouettes of people in it.
Okay. All right. So what Vorn is going to do is he's going to shoulder roll
Cool.
past his sister and run towards the black mob, the big black center goo thing with his axe charge, and he's running, screaming,
You will provoke an opportunity attack as you run past your sister.
"Let her swing."
She
Nice.
swings out with the blood axe for a 17 to hit.
Re-roll that.
Oh. Yep.
All right, 1 second. So 31 minus 3 is 28. Need to reset the
I think
domain
it's minus
dice.
5 to make you re-roll, bud.
Oh yeah, you're right. Thank you.
I don't mess around with karma.
Okay, so I will re-roll that attack. That is a 15 to hit you.
Oh, okay.
So as you turn to run past, you just hear, "Where are you going, little brother?" And the axe
Oh.
swings around, slamming into you
Mhm.
for 17 points of bludgeoning or slashing damage. Actually, no, it does bludgeoning damage. Not that it matters to you. But as it cuts into you, you see a flash in your mind of your sister cutting down your mother. And you take another 8 points of psychic damage on top of that.
And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do I get to the blob?
Yep.
All right.
You sort of
Vorn-
stumble for a moment as you get hit,
Mhm.
but then you just keep running.
Okay. Vorn grits his teeth, and as the memory flashes through his mind, and he does a jumping, leaping attack with his axe onto the big blob.
Okay.
And let's go. Can I re-roll that 12? That's the 12 hits.
You can. That
Okay.
one is 3. So 26 becomes 23.
I'll have to donate to get some more. I'm burning through all of them.
Yes, use them all.
You ready?
Oh my god, it's so
All right.
scary.
You roll.
Oh, for goodness sake.
It's exactly the same
Exactly the same.
Wow. Wow. It's okay. It's okay.
That's all
Don't
right.
re-roll
So-
it again, baby.
thing. Vorn, as you leap in attempt to strike at this thing,
Mhm.
tendrils reach out and grab at you and pull you back to the ground, stopping you short and then release you. You're not grappled or anything. It's just a flavor for why you missed this on your
Absolutely.
first attack.
Yes. Let us swing again. This time with some oomph.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Does a 22 hit the blob?
22 does hit.
Nice. Attaboy.
Excellent.
Attaboy.
Excellent. Ooh, that's a natural 12, which is going to be 16 altogether.
16 damage. All right.
And Vorn shouts, "How dare you take the face of my sister? How dare you take my memories? How dare you invade my mind?"
For a moment, standing face to face with this massive blob of almost like a jello mold with people in it, silhouettes, you see the face of your mother move forward. You see Surla's face come forward. You even see the face of your father, the Lightbringer, come forward as you scream out. Tira, it takes you a second as Vorn has reacted so quickly.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I want to go up and do exactly what Vorn's doing. I want to run over to the blob and I want to hit it. And
Okay.
I rage.
You weren't next
Oh.
to anybody directly, so
Love it.
Awesome.
So you bonus
Here I go.
action rage, and then you go flying towards.
Yes. So I'm gonna attack it for a 19.
Nice.
That is going to hit.
Nice, nice, nice. Okay.
When Tira, are you like pretty close to Vorn at this time when you're swinging?
Yes. Oh yeah.
The Vorn is going to say, as he is like holding his side where he got hit with the axe, he's going to say like in a whispering tone, like, "I love when you rage."
Tira would just wink as she hits it for 13 points of damage.
Okay.
Slashes upward. Ah!
All right.
Badass.
That's one attack.
Okay, and
You
I
have
want
two
to try
attacks,
again.
right?
I believe so at this level. I
You're
think.
6th level. You should have 2 attacks.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just looking. It doesn't say that anywhere on my sheet. So
It would be
makes
on
sense.
your actions tab, right in small print. It would say attacks 2.
Yep. Okay. Oh boy, that's a 26 to hit,
Okay.
and 13 again. 13 points of damage.
Between the two of you attacking so far, you see some of the shapes of Mayor Duvazen and even the little girl and Vornushka. They falter. And then sort of have to reconstitute as they seem to just momentarily blur and sort of almost like their faces melt and then
Nice.
Kahlo.
Smelting action.
Yeah.
All right. What is the current pillar ceiling situation?
There's only one pillar remaining. And it is
Well,
definitely a
We
load-bearing
don't
pillar.
want the ceiling to totally collapse because it will crush our friends who are on the dais, correct?
It will. As well as
Someone
all
who
of you.
That
remained
would be
unnamed went rushing in.
Unfortunate. Okay, and we just had some people who rushed in. So I will not continue my demolition activities for all of their sake. And instead we'll try to find something that's an area spell. I don't have any other fire things available, but I can do this, guys. So let's see, range. Oh, I have to get within 10 feet. What's something I could get within 10 feet of? Any group of anything, or is it one of the?
They're all spaced out far enough,
Okay.
almost as if it's deliberately keeping distance between its various forms.
Well,
But there's
what
enough
are
you can get within 10 feet of any one form.
Okay. Well, then I will move towards one of them. What are my options that are left for the different forms?
There's 3-4 townsfolk around. There's a little girl.
Okay.
There's the mayor. There's
I'll pick the mayor.
Vornushka.
Here we go.
Okay.
I'm gonna do an earth tremor. So I'm going to stomp on the ground, and then around him there'll be a tremor of earth, and we'll see if that has any effect, because we mostly tried fire stuff. So it's a Dex save, DC 14.
One of those is a nat 20.
Well, dang.
Instead it's 10.
Okay. So it's 10 was the attack, or the save?
What's that?
You said 10?
10 was the save, yeah. It failed.
Okay. So it's 5 bludgeoning damage if that takes anything. And then knocked prone if it can be. And then that area becomes difficult terrain just in that small.
You see this weird, as you attack the mayor with this earth tremor, and they start to go like this, and they get bashed by the ground coming up and hitting them, and they start to sort of fall over. But as they fall over, it's like where their head and shoulders hit suddenly becomes their feet, and what was their feet becomes their head and shoulders as their back standing upright. They cannot be knocked prone.
Okay.
Is that your turn?
I think that's all that I'm gonna be able to do. So yeah.
Tira, it is your turn.
Great. I want to attack the ooze thingy again.
All right.
Here I go. That's only a 12 to hit.
That is going to miss.
I will attack it again. God, a 9. And I'm gonna frenzy, and I'm gonna attack it a third time. As a
Okay.
bonus action. An 11.
Tira,
Ooh.
as you attack at this, you seem to be just hitting the surface. Your sword seems to almost absorb the inertia and the kinetic energy and just sort of bounce back, and you try and you try.
Yeah.
And then a face moves forward within the blob, and you see Durked, your father. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Okay. 18.
As Durked looks forward, comes forward enough, you see his face clearly in front of you. And he sort of glances, almost like looks you up and down, gives you this nod. My daughter. Glances over at Vorn. I want you to kill him. But you succeed on your wisdom saving throw just barely.
Oh my god. I grit my teeth and I'm like, never.
That was a
Badass.
legendary action. Now it is its turn.
Oh, shit.
It is going to reach out. Durked's hands reach out as he attempts to just strangle you. That is a 26 to hit.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll do her.
As his hands wrap around your throat, you feel you take 9 points of bludgeoning damage, reduced to 5 because you are raging.
Yes.
But you do not reduce the 13 points of psychic damage from what appears to be your father strangling you.
Oh my god.
Vorn, you see an image of your father, the Lightbringer, as he reaches in within this, almost like he's floating in this viscous fluid. He reaches down, pulls forth a blade from his sheath, a blade of pure light, and thrusts it forward, attempting to drive it into your gut. And to be clear, all of you see these things. Vorn, that is an 18 to hit you.
It lands.
Oh my god.
You take 15 points of damage as the sword plunges into your belly. Your father looks you in the eyes and says, "Your mother should have killed you." And you take 20 more points of psychic damage.
Yeah, that sounds like 20 points of psychic damage. Are you
That is
okay?
a total of 35 points of damage you have just
Are
taken.
Are you okay?
Vorn is down to 1 hit point. And
Get him! Oh my god.
with Vorn, okay, let me know when it's my turn.
Are you down to 1 hit point or at -1?
I'm down to 1 hit point.
Okay. Vorn is in very bad shape. I am
Just
going
let me know it's my
to I am
turn.
going to roll a d6. That is a 2, which is Kahlo.
Oh.
Looking at the overlay, that's where I base these on, moving clockwise around the overlay, or actually left to right, top to bottom. Kahlo, as Vorn seems to be stabbed by his father, You have no idea who this man is that just stabbed him with a glowing sword.
Just a dude.
A bad guy.
Kahlo, who is it that you see that rises up in this sort of gelatinous form and takes shape in front of you?
It would be one of my siblings. So it's one of my, we were all hatched at the same time and grew up together for like a year with our family before they were gone. So let's see, I gotta name my sibling here. What's a good Tortle sibling name, everybody?
Leonardo.
No.
To keep with the theme, it should be a female artist.
Yes, it should. I can
Let's
only think of
go
female
with-
scientists.
Let's go with Keith. Keith.
Keith.
Done.
Keith
Her name is Keith.
rises up in front of you, and you see this. Anybody looking, so not Tira or Vorn, but Mizia and Doc probably see this Tortle sort of rise up and look at you with almost a sadness. Kahlo, it's been so long since I seen you. Please, take this. And they reach their hands out to you. And as they open up their hands, you see the last millimeters of a fuse of dynamite. But it's not real dynamite. As crossing a little bit of character bleed, as there is a sudden explosion of pain in your head. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Do it with advantage, dude. Do it with advantage.
Do I have to say that before I roll?
If you want to, you'll use a domain tome to do that. Are you doing it?
Do it.
Okay, let's do it.
I sign off on this, boys.
Is that okay?
Yep.
Let's
You
go.
guys told me to use them. Here
I
we go.
burned through like 8 of them this session, so you're fine.
Okay, well, I didn't roll well the first time, so I'm glad I did it. Oh, yeah, that's much better. 21 versus an 11.
Okay. There's this explosion of white pain behind your eyes, but you resist it because you know this isn't your sister. And when you open your eyes, she's gone, and you take no damage as this failed to devour your memories.
You never approved of my line of work.
Mizia,
I knew
it's back to you
bullshit.
again.
So all these figures are on these plinths in a line, right?
No,
Like
they're randomly
they're,
around the
they're,
room.
they're scattered all over. Are any
Arrayed
of them
about.
lined up in any kind of sort of way where I could?
They, as I told Kahlo, they seem to have deliberately placed themselves so that they're spread out around the room.
Okay.
I would say you could probably move to get any 2 of them in a line.
Okay. So I'm gonna move so that I can get Kiri plus any other one that would be in a line with Kiri in a line.
Okay? It'd be probably
I'm
the
gonna-
mayor.
Okay, so I'm gonna reach out and with my quill, and just this stream of like hissing acid spews forth. And they need to make a DC 14 dexterity saving throw.
Oh, jeez. It's a 16. It hit a 1 and then rolled over to the 13.
You can
so
go
it's
ahead
a
and re-roll that.
16. Okay.
Do I get
So that puts us at 19. Let me just fix this first. 15. So we'll re-roll that. Is now a 12.
Okay. So they are covered in acid. They can use an action to scrape or wash it off of themselves, or another creature can do that. And they will take 6d4 acid damage at the start of its turn for the next minute.
Okay. Excellent.
And that's my turn.
Doc.
Okay. Doc is going to use his bonus action to try and is the figure in front of him still up?
The little girl, yes.
Okay. 1 second.
The little girl that is not actually a little girl, just to be clear.
It's the pile of moss in front of him that's at knee level. It's a saving throw.
It's the principle of the thing, boys.
Okay. So Doc is going to he's going to bring out a black flower that looks like it's dying or wilted or charred, and he's going to crush it up in his hands, and he's going to blow it at the moss creature. You have a Constitution saving throw, please.
That will be a 12, and I'm going to use a legendary resistance to succeed on that.
Great. Okay. And then may have a dexterity saving throw, please, for my bonus action.
That is a 17.
Okay, that is a success. Okay, so it takes half damage from that. So 2. Did the... And I apologize, I did not ask you this on its turn, because it had its legendary action and then it had its regular action. Did the little moss-lit stay beside me on its turn?
It did. To be clear, these things are not made of moss. They look like living, breathing humans. The moss is a separate entity.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So would the thing have taken fire damage at the end of its turn because it didn't move?
At this point, you have all realized that if one takes any kind of damage, they all take that kind of damage. So yes.
Right. Okay. So then on its turn, it would have taken 8 damage.
Oh, from your...
Yeah, because if the thing doesn't move, the fire will burn them, and then the push thing is extra. So
Yeah.
would have taken 8 fire on its turn, and
Perfect.
only 2 again. And that is the cessation of my turn.
All right. It is going to use a legendary action
Jesus.
as it looks at you, Vorn, from inside your father who has just stabbed you. Your mother didn't kill you. So if I have to, I will, but it doesn't have to be this way. You can kill her instead. And I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh no.
I'm gonna do it with advantage.
Okay?
I'm tired of your shenanigans.
I've never wanted to trust Ricky's rolls more than I do right now.
A nat 20, so I got 21.
Oh my god.
You feel this thing attempting to assert dominance over you and to control you with its force of will.
Mm-hmm.
But you see through the illusion.
All right.
And its attempt to dominate you fails. It is your turn, Vorn.
I'm looking at everything going on with this light sword through my abdomen, and I look into the goo. I go, you want my memories? You want my mind? Very well. And I dive into the goo.
Oh no!
And then once I'm inside, I'm going to try to tear it apart with the strength. with a strength.
What are
Pulling
you
all
doing?
things.
The goo is not.
Pulling a Hercules.
It's not like actual Jello.
Mhm.
It's like the skin of a creature.
Oh,
Ew, you
Even-
can't get
So
inside.
you can
Can't
put,
get inside.
you would feel the resistance. I know what you're trying to do, but
Yeah.
this thing is a physical entity that occupies a space. It's
Okay.
not itself made of this sort of gel. Well, hold on a second.
Don't.
You know
'cause
what?
I'm gonna get in,
I'm gonna pull that back. I'm gonna retcon that just a bit because it does have the amorphous ability, which allows it to move through narrow spaces.
Mhm.
I'm gonna let you do what you're trying to do.
and I'm going to do it also with psionic power. So I'm going to use strength if I can, and psionic power. However you want to play that, it's up to you.
So you're basically just diving in and you're trying to just rip it
Explode it.
apart.
From the inside, yes. Explode it with psionic force, mental energy, and strength.
Okay. I want you to make a strength athletics check.
Wow. Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, that is a nat 20, which gives me a 30 because it's plus 10.
Let's
Okay.
go.
So you have a D8 psionic die.
Mhm.
You also have a bonus to your unarmed damage, and I don't remember what it is. You have something that gives you extra.
It's a D8 plus 4 on both hands. So
you get so you're basically using both attacks to do this.
yeah, however we.
Well,
gotta
this
do
is
it.
one attack. That's crit so far. So with that, you get the D8 plus 4, which is 12, plus the 8 from your psionic, which is 20, automatically because of the crit.
Okay.
Roll 2 D8 right now. You're gonna add that to 20.
1.
You can't get 1 from 2 D8.
Oh, 2d8. Okay.
That doesn't make sense.
I'm like, wait, that's
Sorry.
not
Very
that
possible.
hard.
doesn't math.
That doesn't.
Dumb question. How do I roll 2d8 in D&D Beyond?
Lower
Just
left-hand
roll
corner
one- Oh.
is what looks like a D20, a red D20 circle with a D20 in it. You click that and it brings
Yep.
up all of the different dice. Each time you click it,
Yep.
it makes another number.
He did roll 2d8. He just rolled
Yeah.
them separately,
I rolled them
individually.
separately. Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't see them because I was looking at a different tab.
Do you want me to re-roll them, or do you want to? I don't remember what those numbers are.
Hold
It's up to
on.
you.
I think. No, I only see one. You didn't roll a 1 on both of them, did you? No, it
No,
only
you did.
shows that you rolled 1 D8. In the game log,
No.
it shows
It
1
shows
D8.
there
was
there
rolled.
are 2 individual 1d8 rolls that he rolled.
That's weird. I only see 1. All right. Well,
What would you have me do, Jake?
roll 1 D8 right now.
Okay.
I only see 1, so I'll take that 1, and I'm going to have you roll this second one.
I'll take a 7.
Okay, so you do a total of 28 points of damage. Now roll a D20. Just straight up D20 and tell me what you got.
Oh, how do I get a 3? Power 3.
That's fine. So this is, you got a 3. Hold on, this is not. You see as you rip into this, you seem to break through this membrane, and it's the interior goo and these individuals that seem to be floating in around you begins to spill out of it. You have shredded this thing with your first attack. You still have one more attack.
Is there a heart or anything like that, or is there a center node or brainstem or anything?
There isn't that you can see.
Okay. Well, I'm going to use my last Gosh. Okay, doggy. My dog wants me to use. I wanted to use psionic, but my dog wants me to use strength. So
There you go.
yeah,
Yep.
we're gonna tear it apart.
Use
with
strength.
Right.
It said so.
Make a strength athletics check.
Does a 22 hit?
22 does hit.
All right.
Yes. Get him.
Unarmed strike or unarmed fighting style with both.
That's
hands
still
and
your
strength?
unarmed fighting style, so you'll roll that 1d8 plus 4.
Let's go, big money. And that's gonna be 9.
You are inside this thing, and you begin reaching, grabbing at these forms that look like silhouettes of people. And as you grab at one, you rip at where its heart would be, and it seems to just dissolve in your hands into this goo. And you rip at another one and another one. All of you see Vorn dive into this thing and become one of these silhouettes, but you notice that where Vorn went in, this goo begins leaking quickly out of it, and you see, I know Dwight's going to know exactly what I'm talking about, but when Beta first shows up on Earth and shakes Alex's hand before he's fully transformed into Alex, he just looks like this blob of wet flesh in The Last Starfighter. That's what all of these things
yes.
look like. They look like skeletons with barely formed features, and they begin bleeding away as Vorn is just throwing them out from the interior. And as this is happening, the black moss begins receding away from this. And all of you are watching as the figures that you are engaged with or that you see begin to lose their form. And in reverse, it's like it looks like Raiders of the Lost Ark when the Ark is opened, as they
Yes.
begin to melt
Awesome.
away.
Yes.
Yes.
Kahlo, you notice that as all of this stuff is moving away, wherever the moss leaves this cavern, thick veins of platinum are running through the smooth walls where this magic carved these areas out. Like, there's a lot of platinum in this mine. As all of this begins to recede, Vorn, as you
Dude,
rip
I'm
at the
gonna get
last
paid for this.
as you rip at the last figure in front of you, for a moment it looks like your father, the Lightbringer, and you rip what would be his throat. You feel yourself drop to the ground. You are completely soaked. I'm gonna throw another 80s movie out there. You look like Bill Murray just got slimed in
Yeah.
Ghostbusters.
Oh my god.
As
Nothing but hits.
you are kind of crouched from dropping, and you all see this as all of the figures have retreated, disappeared into piles of goo, and the Rack and Crack sisters are beginning to stir on the daises where they were. Vorn, as you open your eyes, you see for a moment at your feet what looks like your father, the Lightbringer, his throat torn out, though it doesn't look like flesh and blood. One hand reaches up, grasping as his features begin to melt away. And the hand holding this sword of light that was created by the same material. Surprisingly, you hear as the light goes out, you hear a metallic clatter as his sword falls to the floor at your feet. You see, lying at your feet, seeming to steam with shadowy black smoke, a katana.
Blade. And Vorn's eyes go really wide and big. And he looks at the hilt of the blade, looks at the sword. and something inside him knows it was his father's sword.
Actually, you know
No.
it wasn't your father's sword.
It was not my father's sword.
This
Okay.
was
It's just
not
a-
your father's sword. Your father did
Yeah.
not wield a katana.
Was it a broadsword? Was it a giant broadsword?
I think it was a great sword, is
It's a great sword. Okay.
what you would say.
Okay.
No, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, you know without a doubt, this
Okay.
is not your father's sword,
Okay.
and this
Okay.
should have disappeared. And all of you, and Tira, you're the closest, but all of you see and hear the sound of this sword landing at Vorn's feet. What do you do, Vorn?
Vorn looks at the sword. He looks at everyone else. And he picks it up. And then
As soon as you touch the blade,
Mhm.
you place your hand on the hilt. All of you, your vision goes blurry. And after a moment, your vision goes black. You feel a pull in your gut as if the floor just dropped out from beneath you. That sudden lurching feeling when there's a sudden, like you go to step up the last step in the dark and there isn't a step there and you sort of fall forward. You feel this lurch, and all of you except for Vorn, you feel this sudden, as if your body is suddenly rigidly locked into place. Vorn, you open your eyes and you find yourself standing in a large circular room about 40 feet in diameter, completely surrounded by mirrors. In each of the mirrors, you see mostly shadowy smoke. But in 5 of the mirrors, you see Doc, Mizia, Kahlo, 4, Mizia, Kahlo, and Tira. They are frozen as if portraits. Doc, to you, this room looks very familiar, but slightly different. You stand in the midst of this room, Vorn, and you are holding this black sword. You hear a voice. And so, it was as simple as reaching out and taking the blade. But are you worthy to wield my creation, Onok? Do you want to be the chosen one? To destroy this blade's twin? And one of the mirrors lights up, and in that mirror you see Vornushka wielding the blood axe.
Vorn, holding his gut, with his last breath of energy, says, through his gritted teeth, "Yes. Yes."
But are you ready? Are you ready to take the hand of the Queen? One of the other mirrors lights up, and a figure appears in that mirror and steps out of the mirror. It is Ysurla. She walks forward towards you. Onok, that weapon is responsible for many of my people's death. I need you to take the hand of the Queen. As you all look at Vorn, You cannot move, but you can see and hear everything that is happening. Describe to me what skill you would use to either visualize or in what way you could imagine giving aid to Vorn. We'll go around starting with Doc.
Doc is going to use his investigation. He's going to use his investigation to suss out the situation, see if he notices anything that somebody else might not have noticed.
All right. Make an investigation check. Kahlo. Same thing.
I don't have a lot of context, but could I make maybe
I want to be helpful.
a history check about? It said like there's two blades and they're
Yeah.
twins, and
Sure.
to know what any of this is.
Sure.
Okay.
29 investigation.
Well, I crit failed. I have zero context.
Okay.
That sounds
Misha?
about right.
The dice always make sense.
I would check Arcana to see if there's anything magical or
Okay.
going on with it. So 23.
All right. And Tira.
I guess I would just do straight perception just to see if I can suss
Okay.
out anything about these relationships or anything like that. Nat 20. Hell
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
So Vorn,
Of course, the
So
dice
good.
know.
Vorn, you can feel Kahlo's sort of being lost in the situation, not contextually not knowing what's going on. But
This is RP that I can do.
you
There you go. That's perfect. God has
you
smiled
feel
upon
your
me.
friends trying to reach out, thinking about the magical properties, trying to suss out the situation. Vorn, you are going to make a wisdom saving throw, and you, because of the 3 successes, you get a +3 to your wisdom saving throw.
Ooh. Okay, here we go. Is it? Can I use wisdom/insight?
It's wisdom, which
Just
is
straight wisdom.
it's a straight
Okay.
wisdom saving throw, so you have to roll for
Okay.
the saving throw number.
This is 12. Did I do that right?
Yep.
Mhm.
So 15 if you had the +3.
So 15 with the +3. 1, 2. You take
Feels-
7 points of psychic damage. Now I realize you were at 1 hit point.
Yeah, I'm just gonna fall down.
You're not going to fall down though.
Okay.
You have passed into what should have been the threshold crossing into death. You are currently at -6 HP. As
Nice.
you fail in this attempt, you hear the voice say to you through Ursula's form, "You have to try harder, Fornuk. You are in her domain, in her fortress. She will not let you die. You have to want this." And she sort of, her image pulls away. Another mirror illuminates. The figure, too large for the frame, she has to duck down and kind of step to the side as the large orcish form of Vorushka, your mother, steps forward. "Vorn, I once wielded the Blood Razor, what we call the Blood Axe. I wielded it for a long time, but now your sister wields it. Only you can lay claim, take the hand of the Queen, and destroy her. Will you do it?"
Vorn says, I will not destroy my sister. I will free her. I will not exchange one curse for another. Is that what this queen offers?
We all have to sacrifice something, Vaughn. If you want this weapon, you have to prove that you are worthy to wield it. I need you to make another wisdom saving throw, but before you do, I need everybody else. As you see this unfolding, what are you attempting to do to help Thorn? Same order.
Okay. Doc, I guess, would. Doc would make a persuasion check to try and help him
Okay.
steal his mind.
All right.
You can do it.
Kahlo. So it's going to go Kahlo, Mizya, Tira. So each of you, what are you doing?
Okay.
Can I make an Arcana check to try to figure out if there's anything at least that as a wizard I recognize, like magic-wise going on? Ooh, that I could do. 22.
Mizya?
I think I'm gonna make a medicine check just to kind of knowing how injured Vorn is. Just give him some reassurance that he'll be okay.
Okay.
Not great reassurance because I rolled a 10. So.
All right. Doc, what did you get on your check?
12.
Okay. And Tira?
We can't like move or talk or anything, right?
Nope. You can attempt to speak. You cannot move physically.
Okay. I guess I would try like an intimidation roll, just like because I'm trying to intimidate everybody who's being really mean to Vorn right now.
Okay.
I only got an 11 because I can't fucking move. I'm not very fucking intimidating, am I?
Vorn,
So-
you get a +1 to your wisdom saving throw, as Kahlo was the only one who succeeded on this higher DC.
All right, I'm going to
You did something.
take a deep breath, and I'm going to say, for my sister, for my tribe, I will take upon, and I'm going to reach out, and I'm going to roll with advantage on this, if that's okay. Can I do that one wisdom saving?
Yep.
Okay.
Domain
All right.
dice can be used on any die roll. Or
Okay,
domain
there we go.
tones.
Ooh, that's an 11. Jeez.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Those die hit so hard. Jeez.
You are now at -18 as you take 12
Jesus.
more
Oh, no. Oh my fucking
psychic
God.
damage as Varushka looks at you and says, I had always pinned my hope on you, that the blood of your father would make it so that you could be the one to fight the power of the Blood Razor. Maybe I was wrong. And her form dissolves in front of you. Another mirror lights up. Out of this mirror steps a tall, hooded figure. The hood is broad and hangs down, obscuring their face in shadow. The cloak drawn around them as they step forward. And they stop in front of you. They throw the cloak open and reach up and peel the hood back. As you look into the eyes of Tira. Tira, this isn't actually you, but what would you
Well-
say trying to convince Vorn to take up his destiny with the with the knowledge that to do so means gaining the power of this artifact and
Okay.
the patronage
I'm red.
of a deity.
Okay. I
What-
would just kind of smile at Vorn and be like, "You deserve it, Vorn. You know you do. After all you've been through, after all that we've been through, all there is left to do is take it. You should. You deserve it." You deserve it, Vorn.
What? As you respond, Vorn, each of you think about how you're going to try to help Vorn on this, what you believe to be his final attempt. Vorn, how do you respond to this vision of Tira in front of you?
Is it an older Tira or modern Tira?
She looks the same, but there's a almost malice and confidence in her. Like the Tira that you saw before she let down her guard. Maybe malice isn't the right word. I don't want to twist your
Malice is
perception of
fine.
her.
Nope, it's
But there's something there. It's like this is the Tira if she didn't meet you.
I see. Wow. Vorn is in his last breaths going to reach deep into his mind. He's going to remember his mother holding him, putting her on his back when her and his father, they slayed things together. He's going to remember Tira, like the tenderness of the kiss that she gave him. I don't know, a while ago at this point. And he looks back at this malice figure.
You deserve it, Vaughn. Just take it, Vaughn. Just take it.
Vorn is going to look at Tira. And he's going to look her dead in the eyes. And he's going to say, no. And then he's going to scream and shout, no, 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 and keep shouting it until his psionic energy flares in his eyes and his mark of shame.
What are all of you doing as Vorn begins crying out, no, no, no? What do you do to attempt to help him?
Doc is gonna say, "Okay, then, let's go."
Jesus Christ. Can I make a con check to try to, like, tough it out to say something to him?
Sure.
Okay. I guess we're all doing it. I'm gonna roll with advantage. Oh my god. 15?
All right. Kahlo? Anything?
Maybe I will, yeah, can I make a, let me double check what it would be. Sorry. I'm just gonna be kind of giving a little prayer to Eldath here for Vorn to have the strength he needs. So can I do a religion check?
Sure.
17.
Misha?
Listen, Vaughn. You seem to have this macho thing going where you are having some sort of inner struggle, but I need you to just get on with this. You know what you need to do. Cut with the bullshit,
Hurry.
and let's get out of here.
Get on with it.
Sounds like a persuasion check to me. Is that you attempting to persuade Vorn?
A Monty Python.
Why can
Get
Mizia
on
just
with it.
talk? God
I
damn it.
never said you couldn't talk.
No. Okay.
I said you couldn't move.
That's fair.
You asked me specifically that question, and I told you that.
I said, but never mind. It's okay.
I'm gonna roll persuasion with advantage
Okay.
since we're using up all the dice. That's an 18.
Ms. Doc, did you not attempt anything? Just telling him, let's go? Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Mizia is
Brady
the
wants
only
to leave. Let's go.
Mizia is the only one who succeeded. So you get a +1 to your final wisdom saving throw.
Oh, come on, Ricky. Come on, Ricky. Come on,
All right.
Ricky.
We're gonna do this plus some advantage
Be
again.
somebody, Ricky.
Okay.
I don't know who to be. All right, here we go. 1, 2, and 3. That is a nat 20, so it's a 21
Yes.
+1 on wisdom.
Oh my God.
1,
Yes, Ricky.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You take 10 more psychic damage because you take half,
Oh wow.
putting you at -28.
Yeah, I'll be in a coma.
You succeeded on this last saving throw. As you are screaming, no, 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 you scream out one last time, no! And the image of Tira in front of you dissipates, floating in her place is the black, shadowy katana. In this moment, as it floats in the air in front of you, you know that this weapon is the fraternal twin to Blood Razor, known as the Blood Axe. It is named the Hand of the Queen. You know that it is a powerful, legendary weapon, and it is the only thing that can destroy the Blood Axe.
It's the
You have
only thing.
succeeded. You have passed the final test of the attunement ritual. Attunement is a choice. You can reach out and take the sword and attune to it, or you can reject it.
Everyone, I look around, and I only got those curt words from Mizia. So I steel my teeth, and I grab the hilt of the blade.
As you grab the blade, there is the sound of breaking glass as the mirrors shatter all around. All of your friends, you don't see them as their reflections seem to shatter. Broken, shattered pieces of mirror come hurtling towards you, but they stop. And they rain down around you, and as they hit the ground, they don't make a sound. And as all of these myriad reflections around you spin and falter away, you look around and you see that you are standing in the cavern. There's gelatinous ooze all around your ankles. You're coated in this ooze. Your friends are standing around you, all of them with the full memories of what just happened. And you all know, without a shadow of a doubt, that you were just in the Fortress of Memories, the Raven Queen's personal fortress in the Shadowfell. and that you just participated in the ritual that would have allowed Vorn to claim this weapon, which he has done, or possibly consumed his soul. Vorn, you are at 1 hit point. Just as you were when you went into the fortress. I will tell you that the Hand of the Queen, I'm going to add it to your character sheet later. But I will tell you that the Hand of the Queen is a katana. And all of you, because of being in the fortress, know that the Hand of the Queen was created by the Raven Queen herself as a bane to Bloodraiser, and it is sometimes known as Bloodraiser's Bane.
Ooh. Cool.
You know that it can only serve one master at a time, and its primary purpose is to kill the wielder of the Bloodraiser and destroy the Bloodraiser. I will tell you that it is a +2 magical weapon. It'll do all the math for you. It's +2 to damage and attacks. And there are some other things that you will know as you look at this, and I will let you choose when and how you reveal those. But as you hold this axe in your hand, you feel a tingling sensation. This katana. As you hold this katana in your hand, you feel this tingling sensation traveling up your arm as you realize the sword is communicating with you. The emotion that you feel from the sword is one of immense satisfaction.
Vorn looks at everyone and drops to a knee, and then he stands back up and he ties the sword to his, like the hilt of it, to his buckle, and he lays down his axe, his glaives, the flail, and puts them in the dirt, and then begins to walk out of the cave by himself. Behind him, like with all the gear just piled together.
You know, you can situationally use more than one weapon. You don't have to give it all away. It's like, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
I would hustle up behind Vorn and put my hand on his shoulder and be like, Vorn, are you all right? That was fucked. Are you okay?
He's going to look at Tira, and his eyes flash like blood red for a minute, and he goes, I've never felt better.
As you say that, from behind Tira, one of the piles of goo explodes outward. Almost like in slow motion, arms up like this, feet tucked up like a ninja leap. A humanoid figure leaps out of this ooze and wraps its arms and legs around you, Tira. You feel, as the arms tighten around your throat, you feel the legs cross in front of you and tighten around your waist. The life is being choked out of you, and you feel the wet, hot breath of a mouth next to your ear.
Oh, shit.
The sharp intake of air. And an ear-piercing scream fills the cavern. I need everybody to make a Constitution saving throw.
Uh-oh. Oh,
12.
9. Wait,
21.
Gary's gonna look at his character sheet.
4.
Oh no.
11.
Okay. Okay. What'd you get, Kahlo?
12.
All right. I think Tira is the... Wait, Vorn, what did you get?
14.
Tira's the only one that passed. And Mizya failed by more than 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jeez, that one die is just rolling and rolling and rolling. Oh boy. All of you take 19 points of psychic damage. Mizya, you immediately drop to 0 hit points and fall unconscious.
I would too, though, right?
You will also fall unconscious because you only had 1 hit point.
Yeah.
How's Doc and Kahlo after that? Are you both still up?
I'm up.
As you're reeling from this ear-piercing scream, you watch as Tira, despite having this thing, Tira, you will actually take 9 points of psychic damage from that.
Nice.
Because you saved against it. But you all watch as this form wraps itself around Tira. You hear the voice now hot in your ear, Tira, say, "It's time to come home, dear." It's your mother's voice. And you all watch as Tira is dragged down into this puddle of goo. Actually, I guess Kahlo and Doc, you're the only two that see this.
Mm-hmm.
As Tira is dragged into this puddle of goo. And there's a moment where the goo just goes... whoop. We sort of pan back, watching the stunned Doc and Kahlo, the other forms of the mining consortium, the unconscious forms of Mizya and Vorn lying on the ground. And that is where we are going to end this session.
Uh-oh. 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 Uh-oh.
So,
Uh-oh, whoa.
Uh-oh.
that was session 49, This Present Darkness. We will...
Is that the season finale? My God.
I say this feels like that episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation when Troy gets crash lands on that planet, and the black goo like kills the dudes in the ship with her. I still have nightmares about that episode.
So I will say, next week is not a regular session because of our charity event, Call to Adventure. Next week will be a special one-shot. Brooke is going to join us for that as well. And Carrie will be here, but that will be Carrie's last session for 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I do have something planned for when Carrie returns. I have something planned for us all. I've been working on this for a while. Thankfully, Carrie told me about this well in advance, and I could plan for it. In 2 weeks, we will return with the regular storyline, and we will pick up. We'll pick up the story, and we're going to figure out offline how that works. Yeah, this was pretty intense. I didn't pull any punches.
Shit.
I will show you all, you the players. I'll show you afterwards. For those that might not know, the stat version of what you were fighting. I'm sure some of you might have figured it out mechanically what monster it was, but yeah, that was our session. Tomorrow night, it's been in our placards, but I just want to reiterate that tomorrow night it's not the final, but it's getting close, right, Gary?
Yeah, it's episode 5 of Arc 3 of Dreadful Tales.
So the Dreadful Tales are Arc 3 is coming close to a close. And then of course we have on Thursday we kick off Call to Adventure with the Dawnbringers and a special one shot. And all weekend through next Monday, we will be having incredible fundraising for Game to Grow. Lots of great guests and guest players and community members. That's the big thing, is we were able to get several MTD community members in on these. And this is just the first of what we hope will be more of these types of events. So stay tuned for that. I think as we get ready to head out of here, Tildalu's sitting over there with only 5 viewers, and Tildalu was with us at the very beginning, so I think we're gonna. I just unplugged my headphones. Hold on.
Ow.
I thought I felt a bug on my leg. It was my headphone cord. I very violently wiped away at it and unplugged my headphones. So we are going to, as I said, we're going to raid Tildalu on the way out here. Tildalu. So yeah, send all the goodness Tildalu's way. We will see you this weekend for our multi-day call to adventure. Thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight. Thank you for all the amazing people who donated bits and subscriptions and gift subs, contributing to the now dwindled domain tome pool. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate you. If you're somebody who likes to lurk quietly in the chat, not participate in the chat, we appreciate you all the same and hope you enjoy our presentations here in our games. And of course, a huge thank you to all of these amazing players: Gary, Carrie, Brooke, who toughed it out and showed up halfway through for the big battle, Dwight, and Ricky, without whom it would just be me talking to myself for a couple of hours. With that, we're going to end this stream the same way we end every stream, and you can say it with me if you want.